Welcome to the Armani Talks YouTube channel. I'm your host, Armani Talks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills to help you improve your way with words. In this episode, I'm going to be teaching you the impromptu speaking method known as the ball and hoop framework. And I also like to call this the basketball method. Impromptu speaking is the art of speaking without any form of preparation. And basketball is a sport. What can speaking and a sport possibly have in common? Surprisingly, a lot. I want to give you 3 different situations right now, and then I want to explain the analogies behind those 3 different situations. And once you spot the analogies, you're going to notice a stunning parallel between soft skills and athletics. Situation number 1. Let's say I give you a basketball, and that's it. No hoop, nothing else, just a basketball. What are you exactly going to be doing? You'll probably get that ball and you'll probably dribble it in circles for a while. Probably try to bring it between the feet and just dribble. You'll get creative with that. That's something that'll be fun in the beginning stages, but I would say roughly around 30 minutes in, this act starts to get boring. Situation number 2. In this situation, you don't have a basketball, but you do have the hoop. That's it. What now? What do you do in this situation? If you're like most people, you'll probably run and try to touch the net. If you're lucky, you'll touch the rim. But in this case, this is more boring than the first time. You're just trying to play with the hoop. It doesn't make much sense. Situation number 3. In this scenario, you have the hoop, you have the ball, and you have a whole bunch of time. What do you do now? Plenty. You could dribble the ball, you could jump shoot the ball, you could dunk the ball, you could rebound your own misses. There's a whole bunch of different moves that you can do in situation number 3. Now I want to explain some of the analogies of what's going on. In point number 1, when you are just dribbling in circles without any target of the hoop, that's very similar to a rambler just rambling. Did you ever have that one moment when you're hearing a story, the person is 17 to 20 minutes in, and they're just talking and talking and talking, and you're more confused than you were in the beginning stages? You're like, bro, what the heck is this story about? What point are you working towards? The sad reality is that they don't have a point. They are that player who's just dribbling without the hoop. This is situation number 1. Now, in another situation, let's say you have a point. You have a great idea, but you don't have the words to express it. Let's say someone comes up to you and says, "Hey man, you look so sad. What's going on?" Yes, you're feeling sad, but you don't necessarily know how to put that into words. That's very similar to case number 2. You got the target, but you just don't have a ball, the words, to bring that target to life. Number 3 is what we're going for with the whole impromptu speaking method known as the ball and hoop framework. With this method, we only have one step. Find the hoop. As soon as we find the hoop, which represents our point, from there, we just start firing out our words in order to make our idea a reality. Now, here's how this works. Whenever we have a very general hoop, our talk is going to be much longer. Anytime we have a very specific hoop, our talk is going to be much shorter. And don't worry, I'm going to give you some examples regarding this. So say it with me one more time. A general hoop means a longer talk. A very specific hoop represents a very short talk. So to give you 2 examples right now. Nervousness. Speak about nervousness. That's your hoop. As you can tell, nervousness is a very general hoop, a very general target. So in this case, we're going to be speaking for a long, long time. Traditionally, if we're talking about nervousness, we may have the entire day planned out in a workshop-like format. But let's get specific with nervousness. Let's say you're nervous before a first ever date, and I want you to deliver this talk in a humorous fashion. We got extremely targeted in this situation. And the more targeted that we got, the shorter and shorter our talk can become. For this topic, rather than it being an entire workshop, it could be something like a YouTube video. It could be an Instagram live, something like that. So let me talk about the first one, for example, nervousness. Now, I'm not going to speak for 8 hours or anything like that. I'm just going to give you a general flow of what it's going to feel like when you just have the hoop, no preparation done after that. All right, folks, today I'm very happy to have all of you gathered in one spot. I'm going to be addressing nervousness. Now, with nervousness, there's a lot of different philosophies in regards to it. Some people say that it's physiological. Other people say that it's passed down from your family tree. Other people say it's simply because you don't practice concentration enough, which is why your mind is defaulting into nervousness. And all these different philosophies seem so different, yet there's an underlying unity in regards to all of this. In today's workshop, I'm going to address each of these different philosophies. We're going to help you understand what kind of personality you have. And by the end of this workshop, you're going to understand nervousness on a much, much deeper level. Let's get started. Now, in this very general hoop that I've just designed right here, I've set up a talk that could go on for hours and hours and hours, and not much preparation is needed because I have a hoop. Now I just got to bring the hoop to life with the words. Now, in this situation, let's say you are nervous right before a date and I want this talk to be funny. Okay, this one should be shorter. Okay, I want to tell you a story about my first ever date when I was extremely nervous right before the date. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any data points to measure what this date was going to be like. And this is going to be a date with a very pretty girl. You know, I actually I had a great idea then. I decided that I was going to hit up one of my girl cousins. I call her and I ask her out on a date. As soon as I ask her that, she's like, "Hey, what's wrong with you? I'm your cousin." And I'm like, wait. Let me just be clear. I literally just need practice with a date. All you gotta do is you gotta show up, you gotta eat, and you gotta not be a pain in the butt. She showed up and ate, but she was a pain in the butt. She was complaining, talking through the movies, and eating all the expensive food. She was such a jerk. But this was good because I got the tough parts of the date out of the way. Now for my first ever date, everything was smooth sailing. I had just gotten the worst parts out of the way. Now this date was way better than my cousin. Now this talk, it's very simple. It's very to the point. I don't need to drag this on any further. And by the way, this was a talk that I just made up. I never took my cousin out on a date. See, you could have fun with this. It's because we're getting super targeted. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to pick two different hoops. I want you to pick one hoop, which is very general, and I want you to speak about it for 20 minutes, roughly, without any form of preparation. Then I want you to pick a very specific hoop. Get as targeted as you can. What is the talk going to be about? What is the feeling that you're trying to generate in the other person? Keep getting more and more specific and make this roughly around 2 minutes. If you think this isn't possible, understand it absolutely is. You ever heard of R.L. Stine, the author of Goosebumps? Did you know that he wrote over 300 books in his lifetime? Do you know his strategy? His strategy is to always get the title first. Once he gets the title, he reverse engineers it from the title, then he creates the outline, then he starts writing. Now for us, since we're practicing speaking, the point, the hoop represents the title, but we're not doing any form of outline, anything like that. We're just practicing dribbling our words in different ways to bring that point to life. The only way that you get better with impromptu speaking is when you actually practice, when you bring these concepts from theory into application. So try it out for yourself. One talk, which is roughly around 20 minutes, another talk, which is roughly around 2 minutes. Analyze yourself, see how it is that this talk was different from this. It's much better if you could record it and watch yourself back. Good luck and level up your thinking on feet under pressure skills. If you want more practical insights like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification, and never miss another video again. Thank you for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I will catch you on the next episode.